Are you losing things because you are still angry? Some of you are angry at people who are dead. You're angry at people who have moved away. You're angry at people who are locked up in jail. But the curse is on you. Which brings me to my next great point. Anger kills its landlord. Anger kills its landlord. Numbers 20:9 through 12. And Moses took the rod from before the Lord, and he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hands, and with his rod he smote the rock twice. And the waters came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, Because ye believed me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I swear I had given you. And Moses died in the wilderness because he was angry. Anger kills its landlord. Was Moses God's man? Absolutely. Was Moses anointed? Absolutely. Was Moses gifted? Absolutely. Was Moses chosen? Absolutely. But all of his life, Moses had an anger problem. All of his life. Maybe it's because of his unsettled childhood. Maybe it's because of something that happened in the palace. I don't know. I don't know all of his details. But I do know that Moses got into stuff that he didn't need to get into, and it always messed him up. He jumped in a fight between the Hebrews and the Egyptians and ended up murdering a man and had to flee the palace. And it delayed him 40 years from his assignment because he was a hothead. He was right about the conflict between them, but angry people, when anger controls, you could be right about the point, but wrong about the method. And anytime you're right, wrong, it delays you.
Anger is one letter away from danger. All you got to do is add a D onto the front of it, which we could say represents the devil, and anger becomes danger. Anger is the condition where the tongue works faster than the mind. Benjamin Franklin said, whatever's begun in anger ends in shame. He also said, anger is never without a reason, but it seldom has a good one. A lady once came to Billy Sunday and tried to rationalize her angry outbursts. There's nothing wrong with losing my temper, she said. I blow up and then it's just all over. He said, so does a shotgun, and look at the damage it leaves behind. Which I thought was pretty good. When Abraham Lincoln had to write a letter to someone who had irritated him, he would often write 2 letters. The first letter was deliberately insulting. Then, having gotten those feelings out of his system, he would tear it up and write a second letter, one that was tactful and discreet and godly. And I thought about that, and I thought, you know what, if you read the Psalms, you'll see that David, he vented his feelings. He was very honest with God about how he felt. If he was angry, if he was hurting, if he was confused, if he felt like God had left him, if he didn't understand what was going on. He didn't hold back his feelings. He expressed those feelings, but to the right person. And I think that many people, if they would really talk things out with God, they would get rid of them, and they wouldn't be a problem for them the rest of their life.
And so I think the first place that we go to begin understanding a long-term strategy for managing anger well is we need to make sure we understand what anger is. A lot of us have never really thought about it. We're like, what do you mean anger? I'm mad, right? I'm enraged, I'm furious, I'm whatever it is. We get different words for it, but we don't necessarily understand what exactly it is. There's a couple of proverbs that I think give us some very powerful insight into what anger is. We'll start with Proverbs 6:34. It says this, for jealousy arouses a husband's fury, his anger, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. Now, before we go any further, just want you to understand, that's not a criticism of the husband, okay? This is not an unreasonable, irrational jealousy or anger. This is part of a series of proverbs that are warning people against committing adultery. And so we're intended to understand that adultery has actually happened here, okay? So this is not the husband who just gets, furious because the barista at Starbucks smiled at his wife a little too long, right? That's not what we're talking about here. Cheating has actually happened. Adultery has actually happened. And what I want you to notice, though, is why it is that the husband's fury is aroused, why he's furious, why he's angry. And the answer is because he had an expectation. He expected that his wife would be faithful to him. He expected that other men would leave his wife alone. That was his expectation, but it's not what he experienced, and so he got angry. Check this out. This is Proverbs 14:35. It says this, "A king delights in a wise servant, but a shameful servant arouses his fury." And again, understand, this is not a criticism of the king. It's not saying that his anger is irrational or unreasonable. But what we want to pay attention to is what made him angry, what made him furious. And the answer is he had an expectation that his servants would act wisely, that they would use the resources carefully that had been entrusted to them. They would use those resources to accomplish the purpose for which they'd been entrusted. But that's not what he experienced. His servant used them in a foolish way. And you seeing a pattern here? Expectation and experience. So here's what I think anger is. Anger is the frustration about the gap between the expectation and the experience. Does that make sense? Anger is frustration about this gap between I expected this, but I actually experienced this. There's a gap between that. Anger is the frustration about that gap.
It's okay not to get everything you want. It's okay not to get everything you deserve. In fact, it is better not to get everything you want and everything you deserve if that's what it takes to keep anger from being the boss of you. You see, one of the reasons following Jesus will make your life better, and one of the reasons that following Jesus makes us better at life, is that Jesus will always nudge us away from self-centeredness and arrogance to other-centeredness and humility. Jesus will always nudge you away from self-centeredness and arrogance toward other-centeredness and humility. And listen, when you move toward other-centeredness and humility, your life gets bigger. And your life gets better. And you will be free to live a life where anger is not the boss of you.
It's a righteous anger, but here's the key. If you're angry because of something that's been done to you, that's not righteous anger. But if you're angry because of that which is going on that is abusing others and hurting others, then that is a kind of righteous anger that we ought to feel free to express. On another occasion, the Lord Jesus was ministering on the Sabbath day, and they brought to him somebody who had a withered hand. And Jesus, feeling compassion for that man, healed him. And everybody got upset with him because they said he had broken the Sabbath. And it says right in Mark that Jesus was angry. He was angry because they didn't understand the spirit of the law. They didn't understand the importance of compassion. Jesus got angry at the right things.
Chẳng được quên khi cơn mưa đêm lại về. Em đã quên lời thề và ta như đông chìm sâu. Không gần mới em anh nhận màu. Em chỉ cần mơ đâu em bay. Chỉ còn là những cơn mưa vô giá. Cho bên mơ em không mơ anh. Anh một đêm mơ. Chỉ cần bên em không được cần nhớ. Và trôi không còn nhớ và người ta bên nhau như ngã tơ muốn em phải say em chỉ coi mấy em ở đây và anh như muốn chết đi nhưng không muốn em mãi và mãi tình yêu làm cho ta đau đầu cùng em như nằm hâm mộ anh như đeo mong cầu và mưa bên em hôn sầu chào tao mãi mãi mà mơ chỉ có bên em nhưng là khó mơ em mà đang sai em muốn bên ai anh không mong gì hơn chỉ mong em sẽ ở đây ôm anh thật gần anh chỉ mong đôi ta được có nhau mà đừng em đâu anh có em muốn ở bên anh có em ta sẽ trao nhau môi hôn thật sâu ôm anh.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight, gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest and it squeezes till I suffocate. Better change my mindset, meditate. It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the better days. I'm kinda stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I work hard or live at my pace? You're only young once, yeah that's all great, but I also want a future where I'm okay. Living life is doing lots of cocaine. Wait no, it's living with no shame. Wait no, it's sleeping in on Sundays. I guess it's different for each of us and that's okay. Well I just wanna be happy, how to get there? Glad that you asked me. I think it's different for everyone. Some of us need work, others need fun. Some of us need purpose to overcome. But try to do what you love when it's said and done. Cause there's so many differences in each of us. Trust your gut, it can show you what you want. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Some sort of pain, you caused a permanent stain, which has determined your fate. I've never seen so clear, I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here, the sound of deafening fear.